Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again, looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So if you've been watching my videos here, undoubtedly you've seen me call out this leftist sexual and ideological grooming, as the direct result of queer theory. And if you're interested to understand what this queer theory is about, check my video on that particular subject matter and why it is deliberately targeting your children and sexualizing young kids. I speak out about that. I speak out against the barbaric treatment of women and girls in the Islamic community, and pointy-headed leftists point to the sexual abuse scandal within the Catholic Church, or point out to pastors sexually abusing kids. Notice that there is nothing within Christian doctrine and teaching that condones, let alone encourages, the sexual abuse of children. Why does this happen? Because we live in a fallen world, and in a fallen world, people commit sin, grievous sin, including priests and pastors and bureaucrats within the Catholic Church. The grooming of children by leftists and queer theory ideologues very much is a product of their doctrine, their ideological belief. I had some dummy on Twitter ask me, what's wrong with cultural Marxism? Queer theory is an extension of cultural Marxism, as is critical race theory an extension of cultural Marxism. It's poison. And Christianity condemned for the sexual abuse of children, there is no denying the villainy. And yes, the Catholic Church has much to answer for. Morally equivalent to child marriage, just so you understand, child marriage, this is not two kids where their families get together when they're children and when they decide that when these kids grow up, they will be married. No. This is where you take a girl as young as 9 years old and marry her off to a guy my age or older. This is consigning that child to a life of sexual and domestic slavery. And leftists, they will not call out this monstrosity because, that would be cultural bias, and they're all cultural relativists. Right? They think you can't look over there and see, albino children being killed in Africa to make medicine, or because they think these albino children are witches and they kill them. You can't condemn that because that's a different culture and you don't really understand it. I do call it out. I understand it, and I call it out for the moral evil it is. Just like this child sexual slavery is what it is in fact. Right? No, it's not marriage at all. You need to be an adult to be able to consent to marriage. And does anybody seriously think that the abuse of children is inherent in Christian doctrine? No. Leftists don't even lie and pretend that it is. The rape of children stands in sharp contradiction to basic Christian ideals. There is simply no justification or excuse to be found. Catholic teaching neither condones nor encourages the rape of children. Quite the contrary. Christianity teaches the sacred responsibility to the dignity of each and every individual. Yes, there are predatory priests, and there were cover-ups. The institution failed in its duty to police itself and to protect the vulnerable. This was a grievous moral failing. Notice that the church failed to live up to standards internal to its own teaching. The contrast with Islam couldn't be stronger. The rape of children under the guise of child marriage is explicitly condoned. And the sexual and ideological doctrine under queer theory, I spoke about this in a previous video. A teacher bringing dildos, butt plugs, and sexual lube to children class on sex education, right? Or pornographic literature in the schools, drawings of kids performing oral sex on each other, children. This ideology is poisonous, and the confusion is incomprehensible to me. people look at moral evil and think, oh, we can't judge. Or yes, we need to liberate children from the constraints and repressions of bourgeois sexual norms. No, all poisonous nonsense. Please do check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. It's not important because I wrote it. I wrote it because the issues could not be more important. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye.